for many of you know this, but I started Team FDMAS in 2015 after I had been doing some research to find out what kind of funding was out there for this disease, and inspired by my daughter, Carly, who has it in her femur and her hip. And I found outside of NIH, there was very limited funding, very frustrating. And I searched and found this incredible event run by UPenn Orphan Disease Center. And that was back in 2015 when we started Team FDMAS. And I never would have imagined that we would have raised in the past 6 years, $750,000. And to have had 12 research grants from some of you who are here today that is focused solely on finding treatments for the community of patients that are suffering physically, emotionally from this debilitating disease.
Wonderful. Okay, so I just wanted to start and say just a deep and profound thank you to the entire Team FDMAS and the FDMAS Alliance and the whole community for supporting the type of research that we're doing. And as a young physician scientist, very early on in my career, opportunities for funding like this through the FDMAS Alliance are really critical to allowing me to continue to do research to help folks with FD and McCune-Albright syndrome.
Well, part of the problem of doing this, going faster with our analysis is, well, that we don't even really understand this hierarchy in the healthy bone completely. We are really just, the last few years have been a breakthrough for what we know about bone stem cells. So this is what I want to tell you. And well, but as we know about normal homeostasis, I can apply it now to FDMAS, and that's been very rewarding.
The funding from the $1 million bike ride grant allowed us to purchase these 47 compounds so that we could do in-house testing with them using strains that express the cyclases that we use in the original screen, as well as other cyclases that we have in our strain collection.
What I'm going to show you now would never have been possible without your support. The first and the most obvious reason is that research is expensive, and especially when you work on a mouse model of a human disease, as we do. And therefore, you have allowed us to maintain our mouse colony and to perform many very important but also very expensive experiments. And second, in doing this, you have allowed us to develop an entire project to test our hypothesis by investigating some specific aspects of fibrous dysplasia and of its potential treatment in a continuous manner.
What I'm really impressed by about this group is the collaborative nature and interactions between all the people and between the groups. So for example, I've known and worked with Mara for many years. We have a standing meeting where we talk with each other once a month. I've known Dr. Hoffman for a number of years now, and we've worked together. We have fairly regular meetings with Kelly Wentworth and Hsiao, and I don't know Fernando so much, but you can see how he and Kelly have exchanged materials. So it's not common for a group of scientists to be so collaborative and work together. And I'm so glad to be a part of this. You know, the FDMAS Alliance and the MDBR have really facilitated this tremendously. I'm really impressed by this presentation today. You know, it's not often that we get to hear about each other's work in a format like this, especially during COVID when we don't have our meetings that we go to anymore. So this was really a wonderful thing that you guys put together, Adrian and Tova. I really appreciate it. And I think too, you can also get a sense of how we're really coming at this from a lot of different angles. So Fernando and Kelly are looking at the gene expression. Mara has a mouse model. Charlie is working for small molecules to target it. We have a clinical study in denosumab in patients with fibrous dysplasia at the clinical center. And so it really is a full circle of integrative research that is taking things forward. To get to Kieran's question at the beginning is, where are we on the journey? And, you know, I don't know exactly at which mile mark we are, but the other thing I know too is that in science, you're plodding along, laying down bricks, building, and all of a sudden something opens up. And the good thing is we have all this information now that Fernando has collected, Kelly's collected, Charlie's, and these pieces oftentimes come together and catapult something forward. So I think hope is really a reasonable thing to have. And